And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and this is a very, very special video game review, guys. This is a game that I've been wanting to play for a really, really long time, and have been one of my more anticipated games that I've wanted to play. And I finally got the chance to play it, and that is, of course, Jurassic Park, the game. One of my two most anticipated Jurassic Park games to play, the other one, Operation Genesis. But it was just really, really cool to finally get the chance to play this game. It's because it was released in 2011, and the reason why I was so excited to play it is because it is actually canon to the Jurassic Park lore, which I think is awesome. Yes, love that. As a huge Jurassic Park fan, that's why I was very, very excited to play the game finally, and stuff like that. Now, you guys may be wondering, oh, you don't have an Xbox. How do you, except playing on the Xbox 360, how did you get a chance to play? Oh, no. Well, the reason why I got the chance to play is because one night, we were hanging out, as Pringles and Company usually do, and it was like 1 a.m. or something in the morning, and I fell asleep. And then I wake up, and there's an Xbox 360 and a stack of games on my kitchen table. Noah brought over his Xbox 360 along with some of the games that he wanted me to play for reviews, and let me borrow it. So that was a few weeks ago. This game we actually got back in June at a local game store of ours. It was selling for like $25, and we decided to pick it up because obviously we had to pick it up and we had to play it. But it's like August when I'm recording this, so it's going to go up a lot later than that, I can tell you that. So probably good that so it's going to be, it's been a long time coming. It is kind of the motto here, and I'm very, very excited to finally have played it. So, but like I said, as a huge fan, really, really excited, and I really, really love it as a side of that. But I also have to take into account the regular game player side. This game is not perfect by any means, and so there's a lot that we're going to break down on both sides that might cause this review to run a little longer than most of my other reviews. That's okay in my opinion, as long as you guys like it and watch. And I like talking about Jurassic Park, so we're going to do that. So let's jump right into it, shall we? So let's talk about, why is the story so good? Well, it takes place both during and after the events of Jurassic Park. We get Jerry Harding, who's a major member of the book, but not really much the movies, but we do see him in the movie. He's got his daughter there, Jessica, not Sarah, but Jessica. So he has two daughters, because Sarah's brought up in the game, but not seen. You get Nina, who's like a mercenary there, sent to retrieve the Barbacell can for Jaxon and the Biosyn Company, and she sent there to do that. She's also a native of the island, and so we get a lot of story about that too. There's two mercenaries that are also sent to rescue the group after shit hit the fan, Billy and Oscar. Along with Decaf, but Decaf's not really a main character in my opinion. He's just there, but he's part of the group. And then you got Dr. Laura Sorkin, who works for the park, and is like one of the geneticists and stuff, kind of an animal rights activist as well. So it's kind of your group of people that we're kind of dealing with here. And like I said, then Jerry's with the turmoil with his daughter and stuff like that. And then you got Nina's story, and then you got Laura's story, and then you got these other two guys trying to make out with money. They get in part of the deal, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But there's also a lot of clear ups about the movie, supposedly about the movie that happens, because I'm not 100% certain that this game was supposed to be canon to the movie. I think it's supposed to be canon to the book. Here's why. Because Billy keeps bringing up the bombing of the island. The bombing of the island was never brought up in the movie, but it was brought up in the book. Now, Hammond dies in the book as well. Spoiler alert. He's not dead in this game. Also, the Nedry's death is equal to that of the movie, not the book. So there's some conflicts there, but also the fate of the Barbasol can is like a big thing that gets cleared up in this game. But in Dominion, Jurassic World Dominion, the newest movie in the franchise, the Barbasol can is seen at Jaxon's office. So the T-Rex did not actually stomp on it like what happened in the game. So that's also inaccurate. So there's just some inaccuracies that have, and stuff like that. We also get to some clear ups about the lysine contingency. Apparently, Dr. Sorkin released the antidote for the lysine in the water supply so that the dinosaurs did not die. We don't actually also know if the bombing of the island actually happens. We don't see it happen. It's just talked about. Dr. Sorkin tries to stop it, then she dies, and then Billy goes and tries, and then says, carry out with the original plan. And so then that happens, and there's just a lot of stuff. However, it's also on a fan perspective, getting the lore cleared up and stuff, but it's also really cool to have, it's really cool to like just see the park as they're like walking through it, even when it's more dilapidated state. Like they have a roller coaster that they were working on, the marine exhibit. We get a lot of stuff about that, and stuff about the tour. We get to go in the visitor center a lot, and so that's really, really cool to see too. We also get to see the Triceratops exhibit, a little more functional than we see in the actual movie. We get to see that like before shit hits the fan in the game, and stuff like that too. So, and we got to see the fate of Jaxon's guy, or Nedry's guy. He called on the phone to get on the boat. We figure out his fate too, but I don't know if you can really call it canon anymore. But I call it canon because you could call it canon to the book. Like, I wouldn't say it was canon to the book at all if they didn't talk about the bombing of the island. Because obviously, in the movie franchise, the island was never bombed because they go back there 2 more movies. So, there you go. But I don't know. That's just kind of a lot of the stuff that you pick up on in the game and stuff like that about kind of like the lore and stuff like that. And it's really, really cool to see. And I really, really like seeing it. I really like experiencing it as a fan. But a casual game player might not pick up a lot of that stuff, but they will pick up on, well, this is not necessarily a great video game. So let's get into a little bit more of the quirks about this game. First off, the frame rate struggled immensely. I don't know if that's going to be the case for everybody. I don't know why that was. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was because of the Xbox. I don't think it's because I don't know. It's because of the disc not being good. Because we did buy it at a game store. We didn't buy it like new or anything. But that might have been the case. It might just be because of my TV. I don't know. It just how this game is structured is you got to press buttons at a right time. You got to spam them. You got to hold them down. You got to do stuff, action, sometimes in a really, really quick manner. And with the frame rate being so bad, you can't really get them right all the time. Now, thankfully, you get to just go back and do it. But if you're trying to get all golds in every part of the game, good luck. You got that problem because it's going to be very, very difficult. I also did get jump scared a few times. Especially there was one early scene with like the Troodons that I got really scared about too. That was funny. And while the game is still more of an interactive story, kind of like Detroit Become Human and a lot of that stuff, where you're not actually kind of like playing the game, you're just kind of pressing buttons at the right time or signifying dialogue and then kind of just watching the rest of it go down. It's still a lot of intense moments, especially if you're trying to go for all gold, because you want to get them right and you got to be really, really good with your button presses and a lot of that stuff. So there's a lot of cool references to the movie as well, especially when things are going on early on in the game. And I talked about the rest of that already. Again, a lot of very precise button pressing you gotta do. Some really cool action stuff that these people do, though. I mean, like Oscar fucking takes on a raptor 1v1 and wins. and then he scars another one with his fucking knife, and I think blinds it in its eye, though that's never confirmed. He ends up dying to the raptors, which is kind of like the story arc that's going on there, but it's pretty crazy, honestly. Oh, and then also like the raptors, we thought the raptors died. All the raptors were dead. Apparently not, because a bunch of them are going around the park. A lot of stuff with the T-Rex. Some action stuff with like the Triceratops and some like Herrerasaurs. The Troodons get a lot too. Some stuff with maybe like a little bit of stuff with Compies, and then Parasaurs too. But other than that, like the Brachiosaurs are never really shown. We hear them, we don't see them. And the Pteranodons are talked about and they're seen for a little bit, but not really anything too crazy. But and one thing about this game is it's not animated that great. It feels a little cartoony, and also a little bit robotic at times. And also just like kind of how they animate, like they synced up the mouth movements to how they talk is just not done very well. I mean, there were many occasions, especially when you're working with Jessica Harding, where like she will, like there was one scene where she has to turn on the lights to stun the young Triceratops to get them back into the enclosure, and she turns the key to do it, and then like she's supposed to just not say anything, but her mouth's like this, with like no audio coming out. It was so creepy. And then later on, when you're like doing the stuff with the Parasaurs, and like you're standing there with Jerry waiting to pick an action for like what you're supposed to do, like what button, he's just standing there like this, like a fucking animatronic or something like that. And there's many other like instances of where like there are movements or like animatronics or their mouth movements. It didn't feel fully developed in most cases. They just sometimes the audio and the voice just didn't line up the right way, and I get it. That's not the main point. It's not bad. But it's 2011 and you're running this on like an Xbox. I know the Xbox hasn't always been the most like I know we're not on a higher version now, but the 360 like couldn't keep up with that. I feel like some of the newer versions could. I feel like it could have done a little bit better of a job with that there, but and then honestly, my last thing is that the story's actually really good. I liked it. I expected it to be a little cheesy, but it turned out to be pretty good. I liked it, especially near the end with when, especially like after Oscar dies and like they're going to the marine exhibit. Everything after that is really good. When Laura turns on them and then Billy turns on them right after, and then the fight scene at the end, and then the stuff with the can going on. You fight the T-Rex again, and so there's a lot going on there. And Oscar dying's honestly pretty eventful too. And stuff like that. So, but there's a lot to unpack with this game. If you're a fan of Jurassic Park, you're gonna love this game, I think. If not, then you're probably not. This game's probably not for you, because it's not the greatest game technically, but for a fan perspective, it's awesome. It's awesome. So that makes it pretty hard to rank at the end of the day. However, I'm going to try my best. The fan experience of this game, easy 9 out of 10. The technical part, probably a 6 or a 5. So we're going to go in the meet in the middle. This game's getting a 7 out of 10 score. That's where we'll put it for this game. Like I said, it's also really funny. There's a lot of funny one-liners and stuff, especially from Billy and stuff that makes it's very humorous, which you wouldn't expect. There are some darker moments in the game, especially like near the end of the chapters and stuff like that. But there's a lot of funny one-liners. It's pretty good. So, and that's gonna do it though for this game review. If you've ever played this game, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it as well for this video. So stay tuned for other much more amazing content. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.